G'day guys, and welcome back to another One Piece deck profile. With the big competitive stuff coming to an end in OP02, we're going to take a little bit more of a closer look at some of the more off-meta leaders, and then we're starting off with one that's actually can be surprisingly pretty good, which is Monkey D. Luffy, the dual color red and green. So let's take a closer look at Luffy himself here. So 5,000 power for life because it is a dual color, fairly standard right now, and that red and green. The effect is activate main once per turn. You can rest 4 Don, set one of your Supernova or Straw Hat type character cards with a cost of 5 or less as active. It gains 1,000 power during this turn. So there are two different ways you can build this deck. You can build it based more around the Supernova archetype or the Straw Hat archetype. And today's deck profile is going to be more based around that Straw Hat type archetype. If you do want to see a Supernova version, let us know in the comment section below. If we get enough interest, we might do one of those profiles for you there. But the effect's kind of very similar to the Kid Starter deck where you get to restand, but instead of restanding itself, you can restand something else. And there's a few ways we can build really good pressure through this effect, as well as the board building pressure that naturally comes to some of the cards that we use here in the deck. Kicking us off, we're going to have a look at the searches for the deck. First of all, we're running a full play set of Nami. So Nami pretty much searches everything in the deck. So Nami's a 1 cost 2,000 power, 1,000 counter on play. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 Straw Hat type card, and other than Nami, and add it to your hand. The rest go to the bottom of the deck. So not including the Namis in the deck, there are basically 40 cards in the deck that Nami can search, which is, as I said, pretty much almost everything in the deck. So nice, really good for that consistency, and plus it's a 1k counter, so if you find all your pieces, you don't want to search anymore for some reason, it is a great defensive option just to keep in hand for that fact. We are running a couple more Namis. We are running some of the OP02 Nami, the 3 cost 5,000 power, no counter. It's on play and when attacking, so you can get this search effect off multiple times. You can rest 1 Don, and then look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal 1 film type card other than Nami and add it to your hand. Then place the rest of those cards at the bottom of the deck. So this Nami is basically searching all of the green cards that we have in our deck outside of Nami, which is 12 of them. The reason why we're not running full playset is because, yeah, very limited in what we can search for with it. And there is a card that we may even drop one of these for, which we'll talk about later on in the deck profile. We're going to start off by looking at some of the removal cards that we have access to here in this build. So we're running a full playset of Robin searchable off the red Nami, which is a 3 cost 4,000 body, 1,000 counter. Main effect is Don ×1 when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. So super great. Robin's floating around a lot of red decks at the moment. Great value, and sometimes you can just use Robin as like a bait for your opponent for removal, because yeah, Robin's only useful if it sticks around for a turn, and sometimes you can force your opponent into using some removal to take out your Robin rather than some of your other pieces which you're trying to protect. The other removal card that we are running 3 Jet Pistol. So Jet Pistol 4 cost event card, main KO one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less, and the trigger is to activate the main. So Robin we're KOing 3,000, Jet Pistol we're also KOing 6,000. The last card that we're running, which is partly a removal card, partly a defensive, partly just a game finisher, board pressure type card, is we are running 3 of the Newgate SR. So 9 cost 10,000 body, on play up to one of your leaders gains 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So that includes your turn and your opponent's turn, you're getting that 2k buff. The other effect is Don ×2 when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. So very similar to the Robin effect right there. And Newgate is one of those cards that are not searchable off our Nami. Alright, next up we just want to talk about our 2k counters. Mainly used for defense, but some of the other effects can be useful depending on certain situations, certain matchup scenarios. The first that we are running a full playset of Brook from the starter deck. 2 cost 3,000 power, 2,000 counter. On play, give up to 2 rested Don cards to a leader or character. So Brook is really good if you just need to build some more presence while still being able to have a big swing. So you play the Brook, you can attach the 2-Don to your leader, one of your other characters, and then still have a body that you can swing with the next turn. The next one that we're running in this build right here, we are running 4 of the Promo Monkey D Luffy, which is 3 cost, 3000 body, 2000 counter. Don times 2, your turn, this character gains 2000. So with the 2 Don, you're gaining 4000 power, which is absolutely insane for that nice aggression there. Now, if you don't have access to the Monkey D Luffy, another option you can run is you can run some of the Sanji from OP01. Very similar stat line, except it costs 2. And the main effect is you can add a card from your life to your hand. Then this character gains 2000 power during the turn, and you can give this character up to 2 rested Don. So you guys are gaining that 4000 power as well. It just comes at the cost of a life. And it is also searchable off the Nami, just like the Luffy there. The other option you can run to replace that is Otama, which helps your removal effects like your Robin, Jet Pistol, and Newgate to have an extra 2000 on top of that. So that is another option you can run if you don't have access to the promo Luffys. The reason why I'm running the promo Luffy, just because it is searchable off the Nami, just helps with that consistency side of things. And it gets that nice big buff without negging yourself some life. The last 2k counter that we are running 4 of the Chopper from OP02. So 2 cost, 2000 body, the 2000 counter. Don times 1, when attacking, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. So a great way to just get around those little blockers, which may be stopping you late game. Very similar to what your Robin and your Newgate would do, but it's based around the play cost rather than the power. But they essentially will target the same things there. This Chopper is also searchable off the green Nami as well as the red Nami. So get that bit of double search there, but it's mainly just used for that 2000 counter. All right, moving on to the defensive options that we have for the deck. We are running a full playset of the starter deck blocker Chopper. 1 cost, 1000 body, no counter, but it is a nice blocker just to have out on board. The other one that's mainly used for defense that we are running, we're just running 2 Radical Beams. So 1 cost counter card, event card. So the counter effect is your leader or character gains 2000 power during the battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, that card gains an additional 2000. So always going to be a 2k counter unless you're that low life, which then becomes a 4k counter for 1 cost, which is absolutely insane. The trigger is your leader or one of your characters gains 1000 power during this turn. So sometimes that trigger is quite useful, just throws off your opponent's maths a little bit, but most of the time adding to hand, saving it for that defensive power buff boost. Sticking with the defensive options for the deck, but then moving into kind of like one of the bread and butter combos for this particular build. We are running a full playset of the OP02 Monkey D Luffy green version. So 7 cost, 7000 body is a blocker. So that's where the defensive part comes in. The on plays, you can play up to 1 film or straw hat type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So right there, we're starting to move into that, building some nice board pressure. The main thing that you do want to play off this Luffy is this Brook right here, the OP02 green Brook. 4 cost, 5000 body, so it falls into that 4 cost category that Luffy can play. Is a 1000 counter, so on play you can play 1 film or straw hat type character card with a cost of 3 or less. So you see where this is going. You play the Luffy, which allows you to play the Brook for free, and then the main targets that you're looking at for Brook, mainly what we use for a nice bit of aggression. The first is the starter deck Zoro. 3 cost, 5000 body, no counter. Don times 1, this character gains 1000 power, and that is all turns. So that's your turn and your opponent's turn. See a lot of people forgetting that effect on the opponent's turn, swinging into it, thinking they could attack with something that's 5k, but it is 6k with that Don there. Then the other card that we are running 3 of the Rush Zoro. Same stats as the previous Zoro, just has Rush instead of gaining an extra 1000 power from the Don attached to it. And these Zoros are really useful when it comes to the Monkey D. Luffy effect, especially the starter deck Zoro. So you're spamming out the board there, and usually that's late game because you have to be around that 7 cost, Don, to be able to play it. So yeah, you're swinging in with the Zoro 7000 with the Don attached. You're going to activate the effect, rest 4 Don. You're going to buff it up again to 8k. Or more if you have more Don available to you, getting multiple swings in there, which is absolutely insane. And the last card that we are running, which is the Absolute Spice, which is a card we may add more in, and that is Diable Jambe. People forget about this card, and this card has won me so many games, which is why I would like to probably bump it up to 2. So maybe drop that one of those green Search Anamis, or maybe drop a Jet Pistol for another one of these. The effect is, main, select one of your Straw Hat type leader or character cards. Your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during the turn. So it's not just for one battle, it is for the turn. That means anything that you unsuspend with the Luffy that you use the Diable Jambe on has the non-blocker effect again. So that means you're swinging with the starter Zeg Zoro or your Rush Zoro buffed up with Don multiple times that cannot be blocked, and that I can't tell you how many times that has won me games. Whittled my opponent down to 0 life. They've got a few blockers out there, so it's really good into things that love blockers, like your Law or your purples or your green matchups, things that like to sit on a bunch of blockers. This no problem with at all. The trigger for Diable Jambe is KO up to one of your opponent's blocker characters with a cost of 3 or less. So nice removal, but never use it for that. You always want to keep it in hand. Use it as you're finishing below. Alright, and that's the full deck right there, right before your eyes. Let us know what you think of the profile. Let us know what you would do differently, and let us know if you want to see some more deck profiles. I know, as I said, we're coming towards the end of the OP02 meta. Videos going forward, we'll try and get some more OP03 stuff happening for you guys, but if you still want to see some deck profiles, let us know what you want to see profiled. Happy to try and work out some lists there. We've got a few there in the works. When we're happy, we'll post them up. But thank you so much for checking out today's video. Stay beautiful, and we'll see you all in the next one.